The Great Debate Series. Best Sports Movies.
Okay. Top 5 boxing movies. I'm going to start 2015. Creed, starring, of course, Michael B. Jordan, Sylvester Stallone. Now, when this came out, you knew the plot. Apollo Creed's son kind of learns from Rocky. I said there's no way this can be good. I think a lot of us said that. And then, boom,
Yep.
it's got a whole Rocky vibe. Michael B. Jordan was unbelievable. Sylvester Stallone was unbelievable in it, too. And, of course, it was directed by the great Ryan Coogler, who did Black Panther, Fruitvale Station. Unbelievable job. That's actually, the boxing's awesome. The plot's great. So that's my number 5. Number 4 is The Hurricane with Denzel Washington. Now, of course, this is a 1999 movie. It's a story of the hurricane. And are we going to play? Oh, we're playing that song. Are we going to play the hurricane music? Because it gets me so fired up. I could jump into the ring after hearing that. Yeah. Uh-huh. All right. Of course, the story of Reuben the Hurricane Carter, who was framed for a murder in Paterson, New Jersey.
Yep.
He became a sort of cause for celebrities. Bob Dylan found out his story and wrote this song, and then they made this movie in 99. Denzel, as he always is unbelievable. And the movie is so good. Luckily, it has a happy ending. This sort of advocate group in the movie supports him and finally gets him out of jail. I'm getting chills hearing that. It's a great boxing movie. It's just a great movie. And Denzel, you can absolutely not go wrong. I mean, how many bad movies has he been in ever?
Well, Denzel
None.
is going to make appearances on this list throughout the week. Because
Yes.
once we get into football and basketball movies, we have some more Denzel.
Okay, number 3, Raging Bull. Now, this is a little different in the fact that it's wildly depressing.
No, every other boxing movie is such an uplifting one. I mean, that's what boxing movies are.
But you think boxing movies actually are, it's always a happy ending.
Usually triumph, yeah.
It's triumph. And this is, I've read that it's a Shakespearean tragedy because Jake LaMotta, who it's based on, had a terrible end to his career. A little bit of redemption at the end, but it wasn't real. I rewatched it for this. It is so violent. It is so just raw aggression in this movie. Domestic violence. There's so much.
Kathy Moriarty is so good in this movie.
Just spewing hatred the entire movie. Both sides. The boxing it's a little bit artistic. Martin Scorsese's director. It's not straight boxing. It's
black
incredible.
And white film.
It's incredible. Of course, Jake LaMotta fought Sugar Ray Robinson 6 times. Only won once. The movie sort of claims that he was robbed. But this is a great boxing movie. I almost thought that this is not a boxing movie because boxing it's one of those movies where it's 15% boxing, 85% other stuff.
Yeah.
Do you count it as a boxing movie?
I do.
Okay.
I absolutely do.
Okay. Now let's get into the meat of it. I'm from Philadelphia, so you know where I'm going with my 2 and my 1. Now, the controversy, I think, is not that I'm doing a Rocky movie number 2. It's which Rocky movie am I doing number 2? I'm going with Rocky 3 because I pity the fool, Mr. T, Clubber Lang, Hulk Hogan. This movie had everything. This is my second favorite Rocky movie of all time.
It's a great one. It like met the moment of the moment when Mr. T and Hulk and these guys were so larger than life with WWE, but it's also timeless.
Oh, 100%.
It achieved both.
Yeah, and it was Rocky 2, I think, was a bit of a disappointment. It was sort of a light version of Rocky 1. Rocky 3 brought Rocky back and led to a great set of sequels. Rocky 4 is awesome, too. But my number 1 is Rocky, and I think, it won the Oscar. So let's start there. It's not just a boxing movie as well. It's obviously so much more. Every time I see it, I'm like, wow, this isn't a sports movie. This is a beautiful movie. This is like shot perfectly. It's well acted by Sylvester Stallone. I know he's a bit of a joke in some people's minds sometimes because of all those bad movies he did in the 80s, but he's so good as that. Everybody around him is amazing. Rocky won, and it won the Oscar. To me, like
best screenplay, right?
No, best movie.
It did what? I thought it won best screenplay.
Yeah, best movie. Everything about it is close to perfect. I would argue. Listen, it's probably the number 1 sports film of any film to me, and obviously it gets me inspired.
One thing I want you to do for me.
What?
Come here.
What?
Win. Win.
What are we waiting for? Take this!
Oh, wow. Who wants to go 10 rounds with me right now? I'm ready to go.
Who wants to eat a jar of jelly? I feel like that's the last time we played this was you eating peanut butter and me eating jelly.
Yeah, we need this for the spicy wings. Of course, that was Rocky 2, if anyone's keeping score at home. A little bit of a cheat there, but
we get it.
Great music. I mean, Rocky 1 is close to a perfect movie. There's been 2 movies that have won the Academy Award of sports movies. The other one did not make my list, but I won't mention it until after you're done their list because I want to see if it's on there.
Okay.
So let's hear your 5 boxing movies.
That was a fantastic list from Perloff. If we just go back through it. Creed, Hurricane, Raging Bull, Rocky 3, and then Rocky as your top list. Now, let me go to mine. Number 5 on this list, again, well, I shouldn't say again. On the Waterfront. Now, On the Waterfront is an unbelievable film that was nominated for, I believe, 6 Oscars. Won multiple Oscars. Best Picture. Marlon Brando as Best Actor. Lee J. Cobb won Best Supporting, maybe. And Eva Marie Saint won Best Actress. This was a tour de force. Elia Kazan won Best Director. I mean, of course, Brando and Kazan also teamed up for Streetcar Named Desire. We get this iconic line from Marlon Brando.
I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. Instead of a bum, which is what I am.
Yeah, he played Terry Malloy, who was like a washed-up prize fighter, then becomes a longshoreman in New Jersey. Unbelievable. Not a ton of boxing, though, in the movie, but yet I consider it a boxing movie.
Yeah.
The tragic hero is a boxer, so it's got to be a boxing movie.
Yeah, okay. I mean, obviously, I think you say On the Waterfront, everyone says, oh, my God, that's a great classic movie. So it definitely belongs in a top 5 list. If I was going to argue anything, it'd be the amount of boxing in it. But I don't know. I haven't seen it in a little while.
I've also shortchanged it 2 Oscars. It won 8 Oscars total. On the Waterfront is an all-timer. Number 4, Raging Bull. I won't go over it. Perloff just did. It's on his list as well. So dark. I was lucky enough to watch this on the big screen where they were doing a screening of it. So the first time I ever saw it was on the big screen. It was intense. The amount of weight that Robert De Niro gains and loses in real life to play all Jake LaMotta throughout different stages in his life is insane. Especially like the heavy set Jake LaMotta at the end when he's just falling apart.
I can't imagine watching that on a big screen because there's no escape. That must have been really traumatic and really actually a great way to watch it because nowadays, I don't know if you relate to this. When I watch it at home, I might go to the kitchen for a little bit or might do something. Man, that is a tough one to watch in the theater.
No escaping. You're right. And I was in high school and have watched it again since.
No.
It was something. Stays with you. Number 3 on my list is Rocky 4. This is, of course, when Rocky in a Cold War movie takes down Ivan Drago and the Russian. We get to hear this.
I must break you.
Thank you. A little I must break you. One of the most memorable moments in the film. Of course, Dolph Lundgren, side note, was my friend's babysitter growing up.
Wow.
How fun was that?
Whatever he hits, he destroys.
So there you go. Rocky 4 is the only Rocky.
That's the only Rocky
on my list.
Do you think that real boxers train by carrying logs up a hill?
I would 1985.
I would say the lack of good point. The lack of realism in Rocky 4 puts it a little lower on the list. Not that Rocky 3 is realistic. But okay.
Or the lack of drug testing for Drago.
I know. He's just shooting the needle right in.
They shoot the needle in the movie. And also, okay, the other thing, it is a great movie. I'm a little sad because, spoiler alert, Apollo dies, and he's my favorite.
Spoiler alert.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
30 years ago. Okay, more. Number 2 on my list is The Fighter. I loved The Fighter. I loved watching Mickey Ward and Arturo Gatti have their bouts in real life. I loved that, and Ward and Gatti were unbelievable fighters. This was a nominee for the Academy Award for Best Picture in 2011. Christian Bale was the winner for Best Supporting Actor as Mickey Ward's brother. Amy Adams was a nominee for Best Actress in a Supporting Role, along with Melissa Leo, who plays their mother. And she is just brutal in this movie. So beautifully acted, though. She was also, she won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Role. David O. Russell, who also did Silver Linings Playbook, basically a Philadelphia Eagles movie, was a nominee for Best Director. The Fighter is unreal. Mark Wahlberg, very good in it as well. And number one, yes?
Yeah, it's also very unsparing. That is it's the opposite of Rocky IV.
Mickey Ward's brother is a terrible drug addict. I mean, all of it is just so real, and it's Boston, wrong side of the track stuff. Really good. Solid Boston accents all around, too, which you have to nail in any Boston
that's
movie.
cheating if you cast Mark Wahlberg as your...
No, but Melissa Leo and Amy Adams and these other people who are not Boston.
And obviously Bale is British, so...
Yeah, he's incredible. And number one for me, best boxing movie of all time, I went to the documentary genre, and I went to When We Were Kings, which is a documentary that follows Muhammad Ali and George Foreman as they are preparing to fight in Zaire, the Rumble in the Jungle. There you go. That was the chance of Ali Boumbaye, this treating Ali as if he were almost a deity, which is kind of what happened with Ali. He was like a head of state. I've been lucky enough to meet Muhammad Ali in my life when he was, pretty far gone, close to near his death, and it was like meeting a head of state. That's what it felt like. It was like meeting a royalty.
I love that movie, but I did not get the memo that documentaries are allowed on these lists. What? Who was Stu? Did you say documentaries were allowed on this list?
Yes, Stu signed off on. Of course, documentaries can be on this. We didn't do a separate genre for documentaries.
But now, if we're doing top 5 lists, there's so many amazing documentaries on every sport that they're going to blow out the fictional movies.
Okay, what did you want? Ken Burns baseball for yesterday? It's like 200
I would have
hours.
considered Ken Burns baseball. I definitely would have thought about it. I mean, I got killed for everything else I left on. They actually made When We Were Kings into a fictional movie, basically, Michael Mann's Ali.
Yeah.
Did you think about that one?
I did.
Such a great cast.
I did. I just loved When We Were Kings. It's incredible because you also get like Norman Mailer and George Plimpton, and you have, maybe because we're in this industry that we're in, but you get these incredible sports writers who are also there giving you commentary sort of as this is going, and it's spliced in with the footage of the time.